Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I have a layout pretty much planned out with the supplies I want to use. Not exactly sure how I'm going to do it yet. I have these two photos of Christopher and Alex at Bass Pro Shops where they did the rifle arcade game. So that's them. I have this background that I made a hot minute ago for a 100 Days project that ended up getting scrapped. And this is Glitter Glaze through the Scrapping Reflections wood grade stencil over top of a Chamel paper pad paper. So wood grain basically on top of wood grain. I have a sheet of vellum because I wanted to bring in vellum somehow. I've got some wood pieces. These are from MK and some assemblage required. These things right here all came out of the end of my Punta Cana trip. So I've got those to use up. I've got some tickets, some LA Studio die cuts, a project life card, and a paper pad. So I've got my stuff. So let's see what I can do. All right, guys, let's get this voiceover done. So I went and pulled this yellow piece of paper because it pretty much coordinates with that project life card that I had. And the only color I have in the background is green and brown. And I don't want a layout that is full of green and brown. So I am going to bring in other colors. Now, you might look at your photos and choose your colors from that. You might look at your favorite paper and choose more colors from that. Or you can be like me and just whatever is feeling good at the time, that's what you're going to add. So I am feeling that I'm going to add some blues and some yellows and even some pinky colors because why not? Right? It's my layout and I can add colors or not. Now this is an 8x8 paper pad and obviously my photos are 4x6 and I was toying with the idea of cutting down the photos, but the thing is they are so, like on this photo I can't cut it down or I'll be cutting more of them off. It was hard enough getting them in one photo from this angle as it was. If I cut off the other photo, I'd be cutting off Christopher's head and the rifle, and I didn't want to cut that off. So luckily, since this was an 8x8 paper pad, it has that little bit of extra space where the hang hole is, and I am just going to go ahead and use that to my advantage so I can mat my photo on here. Now, I've also decided that I needed to bring in the vellum, so I'm going to bring that in and I'm going to tear the edges on 3 edges, and then I'm going to adhere it to my background and then place my photo on top of that. Now, you guys, I know that there is not a lot of vellum visible. Like, I get that. It's not stressing me out whatsoever. I am totally cool with it. So once I get that figured out, I actually decide to flip over that vellum because, you know, why not? Because I want the smoother tear on the bottom instead of the chunky tear. And that is literally personal preference. You could want a chunkier tear on your bottom, or you could want the same kind of tear. So it really just boils down to however you're feeling at the moment. Now, my original plan for the project life card was to layer it up so that was hanging out the top, and you could see the camera on the top and on that right-hand side. But I didn't like that. I didn't like the curved edges when everything else was a straight edge, but that sounds kind of crazy coming out of my mouth because the straight edges are also torn edges. So anyway, the curve just wasn't working for me, guys. So I went ahead and got rid of that. And now I am going to just build up some layers here. So really didn't know how to approach decorating this one, right? Like, it wasn't just coming to me. I wasn't like, yeah, I've got a vision for decoration here. Which sometimes I do. Sometimes I can kind of see a layout in my head where I want it to go. I've been scrapbooking for a dang long time. So almost 30 years, my word. Um, so a dang long time. And, when you scrapbook that long, even if your style evolves, you kind of know what you like to do and what you don't like to do. Like I said, even when things change, right? Even when you go from cutting up your photos to get 36 photos on a page to scrapbooking 1 or 2 photos every page, and you're going from an album that spans multiple years to 9 albums. 9, is that the most I have, is 9 albums for 1 year? I don't know. A lot of albums from 1 year. Like, you kind of know where you want to go with your layouts. Or at least I do. At least I kind of have that feeling, right? But this one was a struggle because I just didn't know how to go about decorating it, right? Like, I knew that the trees would work. I knew that the wood veneer pieces from MK's shop would work, but I just didn't know what to do with it. Right? Like, it's not coming to me where I'm seeing this beautiful layout in my head and I know what I want to do with it. It's just not there. So I am going to futz around with this layout for a hot minute. I can figure out, basic things that I want. Like, I brought in this pinkish color tag and I overlapped a label on it. I do know where my clusters are going to go. It's just a matter of what clusters you want and where you want to put them and what you want to put in your clusters. Like, it's all these questions that I just didn't really have the answers for. So I'm looking at things. I'm trying out different things. I pull things out of these die cut things. I'm saying things an awful lot. If things was a drinking game, we'd all be drunk. So these things are all just little bits where I'm like, I'm not exactly sure which direction I'm going. I'm not exactly sure how I want to layer things up. So I'm just going to play around with the things and, kind of go from there. So I am using this kind of wood plank and I'm going to layer up some of these LE Studios die cuts. And the one that's covered up with the orange says something about pumpkin spice. And yes, I could save that because, pumpkin spice is now a part of my world, even though it really wasn't before. I could have saved it for that, but honestly, it works now and I'm using it now, right? So that's what I'm going for. I'm like, this piece works for me for this layout right now, and I'm not going to save this one little die cut in the hopes that I'm going to scrapbook about a pumpkin spice latte sometime in the future. Will I scrapbook about a pumpkin spice latte? 99% sure yes. But yeah, I mean, it is the 20th anniversary of the pumpkin spice latte. And fun fact, it is the 21st birthday of the peppermint mocha. So peppermint mocha is older than the pumpkin spice latte, just in case you were wondering. Which probably 87.34% of you were not, but it's okay. I'm just sharing that fun fact anyway. So now I've got to figure out where the rifles are going to go. And spoiler alert, all 3 rifles do not make it onto the layout. I'm only going to end up using 2, and I also bring in flowers because I honestly had no idea what the heck I was supposed to add to this beyond what I had done, right? Like, I had some naked areas that needed something. They needed a piece of decoration, and I was like looking at my room and going, okay, I don't want to put brads there. I don't want to put buttons. Like I'm looking at the things. I don't want to go find yet another sticker. And I was like, flowers. It's just, that's the way it's going to be. There are going to be flowers on this layout. So that's what I end up with, guys, is some flowers. But I feel like it's appropriate because I'm going for the whole nature kind of feel on this layout. And flowers are very naturey. See, I even pulled out the Heidi Swap Wolfpack stickers, but they were not working for me for this layout either. So I still got a naked wooden plank, but my tag hole isn't naked. As you can see, there is that little bow right there. So no naked tag hole, so we don't have to worry about that whatsoever. But now there's like this big blank canvas, right? Like there's this big blank expanse up at the top. There's this blank expanse at the bottom. And I just don't know what the heck I'm doing. I decided to bring in this pink together chipboard word. I'm actually going to peel off some of the layers of chipboard so it isn't as thick. And then I'm going to bring in these old Studio Calico letters, which I didn't even know I had until I went looking for some flat letter stickers. And I was like, oh, these bright blue ones. Yeah, this is going to draw your eye. And I'm going to spell out the word shoot. So we're really going to draw your eye to this. So I'll go ahead and get that down there. I peel off some of those chipboard layers like I was talking about a second ago. And I'm going to layer that over top of, excuse me. Goodness. Over the wooden plank. Sorry for coughing, guys, but I'm not going to go back and redo this because my voiceovers are pretty much done in one shot unless something happens and I get interrupted. And if the interruptions happen, then the interruptions happen. You know, this is just me having fun on YouTube, sharing some scrapbooking, hoping you get some inspiration or some entertainment, at least. Hoping you get something, right? So anyway, sorry about the coughs. So this is where I pull in the Prima flowers. Yes, I still have the Prima milk bottle flowers from 7 years ago. So I'm going to do those. And my original thought was I was going to glue some enamel dots in the center of the flowers. And then I was like, you know what? I am using up my enamel dots pretty nicely. Like I'm not disappointed in my level of enamel dot use. And these are something that I do use and buy. But I really need to use up these Nouveau drops. So I had already put the glue down to hold on the enamel dot over top of the flower. And I just decided I was going to go with it. And I put the enamel dots over top of the glue. So I don't know how that's going to look. I don't know how it's going to turn out when it's dry. But at this point, it's not a big deal. The center of the flowers are not a big deal. And I did go with a blue color just because I have that bright blue title and the blue paper around my photos. I am going to journal. Wonders will never cease. And after I get that journaling done, the layout is finished. It gets put over into the pile that needs to be organized and put away. And then that is going to do it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for joining me on this scrapbooking journey that I've been going on for the past forever many years. I don't know, a couple years here on YouTube. So yeah, that's where I'm going to end it. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys again real soon for another video.